I'm Katrina.
I'm Cassie.
This is Two Dunces Can Read.
Yes.
And we're here for Chapter 2 of The Last Girl by
Samantha E. Morgan.
The Lord of the Flies fan fiction.
Alright, here we go.
I'm excited.
Chapter 2. Previously, rushing out of the jungle to the sound of the conch, the boys surrounded us in a circle upon the beach. But as soon as they reached us, their gaze went to the other end of the shoreline. A massive dark figure walked down the beach.
Dun, 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 dun.
I could feel some of the boys stop in fear, wondering what this shadow could possibly be. It approached slowly, and as it came closer, I realized it was not just a dark mass, but the choir in the robes, led none other than Jack, who under his hat had a devilish smile plastered upon his face.
You may remember that from the last episode.
As they got closer, Jack halted them. "Where is the man with the trumpet?" he asked.
Where is the man with the trumpet?
Were they this scared of him in the book?
I don't think
Because it's
so.
the exact same, circumstances.
I don't think they were.
There is no man.
I think it was more in the book, just kind of like, who the heck are you?
He was kind of just a little shit, and everybody treated him like a little shit until, he gave them meat or something, ran off in tears, and some people followed him or something like that. And only then did he start kind of having power.
Yeah, at first, he was kind of like, I want to be in charge too, but nobody was afraid of him at
and
first.
nobody voted for him, and that's why he ran off crying, and it was...
Because nobody wanted to be with this guy who was so cocky.
Yeah, and it's some of the older kids, like Roger, who liked the hunting and stuff.
Isn't Roger one of the choir boys, though?
I think so.
So, yeah.
Choir boys might have followed him.
Yeah, but I don't think any of the choir boys voted for him.
No, nobody did.
They were just like, we finally thought we were free of this clod.
There is no man. We are having a meeting. Will you do us the honor of joining us? Ralph asked, with a hint of sarcasm in his voice. The choir began to shift.
You can tell it's sarcastic when you need to emphasize that it's sarcastic.
Yeah, you can tell by the way I read it not sarcastically at all.
Yeah.
It was very demanding.
Until
there
after.
is no man.
There is no man, women only, girl power.
I love how so many of these read the book and are like, this story needs girl power.
Mm-hmm.
The choir began to shift, but Jack yelled back, "Choir, stand still!"
Yes, sir!
Did I see you blink? Maurice? He then rushed over towards me. "Hello, darling."
Zoom!
"I'm glad to see you are okay."
Hello, darling, I'm glad to see you are okay.
He smiled and put one of his long arms around my squirmed in my arms until I put him down. She's talking about the child. Oh. Okay, but she didn't say the child.
Yeah, she was still holding Johnny at this point.
Yeah. Okay. He stayed next to me, but he moved cautiously away from Jack, towards Ralph. The choir made groaning noises. Ah! And Jack yelled, "All right, sit." A boy fell to the ground, fainting.
I was gonna fall the other way, but I think I'd fall out of camera.
Jack barely even acknowledged him. Piggy, who had asked all the assembled boys their names, did not dare to ask the choir. Ralph then started the meeting. "We have got to decide about being rescued, now that we're done stripping." What is it?
I thought that was written in there.
No. What a time that would be. "It seems we ought to have a chief to decide things." "I should be chief," Jack said. "I am the head of the choir and I can sing a C sharp."
And also, I am Darth Vader and I have...
It's true.
I've got the Force on my side.
"What does that have to do with being chief?" he mumbled.
Well,
Ralph heard, grinning knowingly at me. "We should vote. a dark-haired boy said, but in the same paragraph that the girl...
Oh, that's... The story's full of that. Why do you think I had such problems?
Who is speaking?
Such trouble.
A dark-haired boy said. He could be dark too, who knows. He had this look about him that made me uncomfortable. Let's vote, Piggy said. I knew that Jack was a good choice because he was an obvious leader.
There's nothing that English boys love more than democracy.
The way this story's been going so far, which always gets me about these, is that the girl seems like the lead at the moment, because everybody instantly, falls.
But, nothing, she's not really controlling any of the story. She's just letting it happen around her.
But, I think it'd be cool to have one where the girl is the leader.
I'm sure they exist where the girl takes the place of either Jack or Ralph. Yeah. But most of the time they're written because the people reading Lord of the Flies were like, there's no kissing in this story, there's no love interest, because most books written have a love interest in them. War and Peace has 1,000 love interests in them.
Haven't read that one.
It's a lot. I love it. But it's a lot.
Yeah, it's one of those big books.
It's a big book.
I knew that Jack was a good choice because he was an obvious leader, but there was something about him that made me cautious. Him with the shell, someone yelled. Others yelled out in agreement. All right, Piggy said. Who wants Jack for chief? The choir raised their hands obediently. Jack looked around with a worried look on his face. His eyes settled on me. It was like he was pleading for my vote. I gave him a sorry look back.
Is that your sorry look?
Yeah, it's hard to curl my eyebrows. Who wants Ralph? Almost everyone raised his hand. But to make Jack feel better, I did not. Instead, I tried to busy myself by picking up Johnny again, literally just fiddling her thumbs.
I have child. I cannot vote. But you see what she's doing? She's the only girl on the island, so she's setting up a precedent for not having women's suffrage on this island.
True.
So, vote. Or nominate yourself.
Yes. Ralph continued, so I guess I am chief then. Jack, you can have a choir. Jack's jealousy showed, but he smiled at the thought. We could be the army and protect everyone. Jack looked at me when he said that. Or the hunters, Ralph suggested.
Or murderess.
Hunters,
also from
Jack
Hamlet,
said.
not Hamlet Mousetrap. Oh God.
All right, choir, you can take off the togs. The boys sighed in relief and took off their black togs. I will take them. We can use them for blankets, I said. Jack gathered them for. But she's giving more orders than Ralph has.
Yeah.
I said. Ralph gathered them from the choir and handed them to me, but he did not.
She's the queen of the island.
Okay.
Because Jack, she's the chiefess. She wasn't nominated, but she kind of.
Okay.
Just kind of breasted her way into it.
Okay. Yes. It doesn't need to be established.
She was like, hey, look at my waist to hip ratio. And they were like,
we don't got that. Listen, everyone. Oh, wait, who's talking?
Nobody knows.
Yeah, it's just
probably Ralph
talking. Listen, everyone. I have got to have time to think before we do anything. If this is an island, we might need to be rescued right away. So we have to find out if this is an island or not. 3 of us will go. I will go, and Jack and Simon will come too. A skinny boy with very light black hair stood up, and many of the boys...
Very straight black hair.
Ah, very straight. Ralph walked over to Piggy and me. Can you two stay and watch the little ones? I nodded, but Piggy looked a little sad. Ralph pulled me aside. Don't worry, I won't be gone for long. Is it all right if you stay? He asked.
Yeah.
It is fine. I don't mind. This one has been stuck to me for a long time. I motioned to the sleeping Johnny in my arms.
Oh, she's still he's a 6-year-old though.
Yeah.
So it's like she's talking about it like it's just a little thing like this, but it's like
yeah.
6-year-olds are gangly little monsters.
They're big. And they don't fall asleep in 2 minutes.
No. Especially not when they're, scared like this.
He has
Someone's never met a 6-year-old.
It's true. Or 17-year-olds or any other age, maybe.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think the person writing this was under 17.
Yeah.
Because we are both 19. You're almost 20. Like a week away from being 20.
Yes, it's true.
But
happy birthday to me.
We both know how 17-year-olds act because we've been there, and it's not like this.
Has she made them preteens? Because in the book they were like 10 to 12 or something.
Yeah.
Like if they were 15, this would make much more sense.
Yeah, but they're 17, so they're nearly, adults. And which kind of changes the plot
Especially
of the story.
when Piggy was bellyaching about there being no adults.
Yeah.
They've all been preparing by now to be adults.
Yeah, so when it's like there are no grown-ups, it's like there are no grown-ups, Ralph can be like, well, it's what, the 3rd? Give me like 2 months and I'll be a grown-up.
Yeah, and then I'll save us, because that's what we need.
So it kind of changes, and I think that's something the people who make them older forget.
Yeah.
They forget.
Or like I say, if they just make them 15 or something,
then they're
so they
old.
still have all the romance and
and all the sex.
Yeah.
That's really what these are shaping up for. They want to be able to have sex on the island.
Yes.
I want to see one that goes long enough where they accidentally get the girl on the island pregnant and deal with a baby.
Yes.
Because that again would change.
That's the good
That would be really
stuff.
interesting to see.
Yeah.
It would, change and stretch out the plot of the books, but it would be a new, interesting. Well, especially since they're teenagers themselves. So they're not like.
And with no background help or anything.
None of them have any. Nobody can. A lot of times if there's a loss on an island, somebody's like, oh, I'm a doctor, I'm a nurse, or I was a. But none of these people, especially in this time period, would know anything about birth. Which means the mom would probably die.
Definitely, Audrey be dead.
And then Jack would be able to eat the placenta and he'd be like, here's the meat!
They just eat the body.
Or the placenta. If she lives, they'll eat the placenta. If she dies, they'll have both.
He wins either way.
Cannibalism!
He has the right idea, Ralph mumbled. What? I asked. Nothing. I will be back soon. He squeezed my hand, then left. Ow! She cries. Jack walked over to me after. Don't miss me too much, darling.
Oh my God,
I'm thinking of you the whole time.
Oh my God.
We can spend some alone time when I get back, he said and walked away. Ralph looked back at me and rolled his eyes. And I rolled my eyes at Jack. He smiled and the three disappeared into the jungle. I put Johnny down in the shade of a palm tree just outside the rocky area that we had our meeting in. Piggy was still trying to tell the difference between a set of twins, Sam and Eric. All right, everyone, let's play a game. All the little boys came running over, but the older boys like Roger rolled their eyes. A little blonde boy asked me, what kind of game are we playing?
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there, even though I've been staring at you for a while now.
I don't know what's happening, but our camera shut off during
Good
chapter
time.
2. So, we're back.
Yes,
I switched to our old camera.
yes. We couldn't figure out which line it shut off on, so I'm just...
Oh, I was thinking we just edit it out.
Oh, okay. That works too.
We should
More
edit
to
this
edit.
out. I'll probably edit this out.
Definitely.
Genuinely and not,
Ooh, I just read a little bit ahead. We're in for something good.
Oh,
okay.
no.
Okay. We might be here for a long time, so let's think of fun ideas that will help us survive. Can we build a castle for us to live in? A boy with a mulberry birthmark asked me. Maybe, but we can't build sandcastles. How about we have a contest? Piggy and I will judge, and the winner will get a prize.
What prize can they possibly give?
Conch shell all of civilization to best castle. The little boys ran to build their castles, and the older boys laughed at me.
Ha 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 ha!
Roger walked over. Seems like you are good with kids, Missy. The original.
Okay. This one we did read in the past, but I think they changed her name. I think her name wasn't Audrey originally.
Yeah.
But this line where Roger says Missy, we have been saying to each other for years.
And we'll definitely say it for the rest of this story too.
And for the rest of every other story we read, even if it's not Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
It would just be, we'll pick a character and they'll refer to the woman as Missy. Oh my god, that's so awesome. Say it again. Say it again!
Seems like you are good with kids.
Missy!
I am. I have little cousins and I babysit a lot. Well, you're going to be doing a lot of babysitting now. And don't worry, I'm sure Jack will pay you for it. There was no comma, so I just...
Yikes.
He smirked an evil grin.
What is Jack gonna pay her with?
Pig. He smirked an evil grin and the older boys laughed. I got what he meant and I was not happy. Or I could pay you for it instead.
Missy.
He whispered to me. So only I could hear. No, thank you. I can do it without charge. He looked annoyed, but said, "If you change your mind, Missy," actually in it, "I will always be ready for you."
I'm turning into a demented seal. I'm so excited to revisit this.
Missy.
Missy. You know, if the author's going back through and editing these chapters, I hope that if they did change her name, like I feel like they did, I hope that in later chapters she hasn't changed her name yet.
Oh. That would be something. And with that, he walked away. I talked to Piggy for a while, and then we looked at the sandcastles. The boys wanted to go play in the ocean, so I let them. The sun was getting lower in the sky.
And then all the 6-year-olds drowned because none of them were strong enough swimmers.
Yep.
Whoops.
I was playing with Johnny in the little waves when Ralph came up behind me. "Hi, Audrey," he said. "Ah, you're back!" "I thought you would be gone until the middle of the night." "No, we were hungry."
It's a small island.
"We were hungry and found what we were looking for." He walked with
Of
little
course.
Johnny and me to the meeting spot and blew the conch. Oh, inappropriate, but all the boys came running in and sat down. "We are on an island," Ralph said once all the boys
Hey
had
Audrey,
settled.
will you blow my
"There are
conch?
no boats, no smoke, no houses, and no people." Well, I guess it's for you guys, but...
No other people.
Yeah.
That we know of. They may
Jack
be.
broke in. "We need an army for hunting pigs."
Is that what armies do?
"Yes, there are pigs on the island," Ralph said. All of his sentences just happen to be the least.
Yeah.
They're just so bland.
He's milk toast.
It got away before I could kill it, but next time, Jack looked at me for approval.
Will you date me if I kill for you?
I smiled at him to make him feel better, but I saw Ralph's unhappy face behind his. No! They are the same!
The island is here.
Oh, God.
Inside my mind.
Honestly, though. Then the little boys began pushing one of their own forward. Ralph nodded his approval, and the boy held out his hand to the conch. "Let him have the conch!" Piggy yelled. "Let him have it!"
Trying to think of that made me think of Bohemian Rhapsody, but I can't think of the line. Let him go. So it was. I thought it fit better than. I need to edit this out. I won't, but
Do what you have to do, future Katrina. The little boy must have been scared of the attention because Piggy went up to him and translated what he said. That's not the right usage of translate. "He wants to know what you are going to do about the snake thing," Piggy said. All the boys laughed at the small boy, including Ralph. I gave him a sharp look and he immediately stopped laughing.
Ow! Ow, that look!
Now he says it was a beastie. Beastie? He says he saw it in the woods. There is no beast on this island. It is too small. There was no comma, so it's just, I had to guess. Ralph is right, of course.
That made me think of Mousetrap again. Brain.
Okay. There isn't a snake thing, but if there was a snake thing, we would hunt it and kill it. We were going to hunt pigs and get meat for everybody. And we'll look out for the snake thing too, Jack started to say, but Ralph cut him off. But there isn't a snake thing.
There isn't a snake thing.
Just clotheslines them right there.
It's not a snake thing. Jack's just out. He's down for the count.
Honestly, that's canon Jack.
That would have probably solved a lot of when Jack was acting up, if Ralph just like.
Yeah, but the thing is, he didn't act up that much. It was just kind of annoying.
Yeah.
We'll make sure
Still,
we
they
go
should have
hunting.
punched him.
Yeah, they should have just seen it in his stupid face and kicked him while he was down. Roger would have gotten a kick out of it if they.
Could have kicked Roger too.
Yeah.
Kick everyone. Everybody's getting kicked. I'm getting kicked. You're getting kicked.
It's true.
My future self-editing this is getting kicked.
I tell you there isn't a beastie, Ralph yelled, and the whole assembly went silent. Moving on, my father is in the Navy, and he said there are no unknown islands left. They will come searching for us. We need to help them find us, so we shall build a fire. A fire! Make a fire! All the boys chanted. Follow me! Jack yelled, and the boys rushed up the mountain. We're off to make a fire. Piggy, Ralph, and I were left in the assembly place. Piggy started to mumble about the boys being like a crowd of kids, and I thought that was funny since they all are kids.
Wow, it's almost like that was the joke.
We better not miss any of the fun, I said, and motioned for Piggy and Ralph to follow me up the scar.
Go!
Sounds so whimsical when
Yeah.
she says it. After 5 minutes exactly, I heard Jack's loud voice echoing down the mountain. Hey! 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 Get as much wood as you
Amazing
can.
he's that good at yelling.
He's a choir boy.
Fair enough, he can project.
We'll build a pile. Come on! The boys began tugging dead pieces of wood to
Was
a
he
pile.
singing it, do you think?
Get as much wood as you can. We'll build a pile. Come on! Come on!
You're yodeling, hey.
What's going on down there? The boys began tugging dead pieces of wood to a pile. Ralph stood alone on a limb with Jack, and they grinned at each other, sharing the burden of our survival. That sounds kind of gay. Are they the ones?
You sound kind of gay.
Like, it sounds like they're going to be the pair now. They're standing on a limb, grinning at each other.
When we say that sounds kind of gay, we mean it
Literally.
sounds homosexual.
Literally.
It sounds like there's homosexual tension,
Yes.
not like, that sounds stupid.
Oh
No,
my gosh.
just to clarify. Read it again.
Jack and Ralph tried to light the big pile by rubbing 2 sticks, but wrong 2, it's 2-T-O, together, but that did not work. Then Piggy walked up the mountain. My, you made the big pile. The big pile. Jack pointed at Piggy. His specs. Use them as burning glasses. Let go of me, Piggy said as all the boys crowded in to grab the glasses. Jack then
I
took...
feel like in real life, if they said, grab his specs, we'll use it, someone would just be like, okay, hey, can we borrow these? Like, they wouldn't immediately be like, yeah. Like,
I'm pretty sure Piggy, was pretty consensual about it.
yeah, I mean, he was a little bit unnerved, but I don't think it was, I mean,
He
I could be wrong.
understood the fire. He understood.
I could be wrong, but I think they didn't, like, crowd around him and force it.
It sounds
may
like
have
he's just arms flailing in the air. Let go of me, you savages!
I could be wrong, and if that did happen in the book, then it's a complaint with the book too. But
lances and held them over the fire. Instantly smoke began to rise, and Ralph got on his knees and started blowing. Jack joined him, and a huge fire started. More
Ignoring that, I don't think it would have been, because instantly it's just here, now there's smoke, and I don't think it would have been that fast.
Yeah.
I keep slamming my hands onto my knees and making my leg fly off.
More wood! We need more wood! Jack shouted. The boys scattered around again, grabbing wood and bringing the this fruit fly.
I was just ignoring it.
Well, it's on me.
Camera can't see it.
The boys scattering around again, grabbing wood and bringing to the burning fire. Everyone then tried, flung down against the rocks. The boys sounded like panting dogs after all the excitement of the day. A gust of wind blew the flames on the fire into the jungle. A tree busts with flames, and a tree busts with flames.
Oh.
And one of the boys shouted,
"Oh,
look at the snakes!" I just stood on the side of the mountain, fearing that the whole island would be destroyed. Roger came up behind me and said, "Don't worry, Samantha."
Oh my god! I was right, I did think your name was Samantha.
Yeah.
Oh, she was a self-insert.
Not many things can hurt you on this island, but many things can.
Missy.
That scared me even more. I rushed away from Roger and went to find Ralph. When we went back down the mountain, I walked with Ralph. Ralph? I asked. Yes, Audrey. She just made a
mixing
mistake.
the names, but you missed one. I love that.
So you could be right. She might have, not gotten to later chapters.
Well, now we know. Yeah, I was thinking I thought her name was Samantha because it was an obvious self-insert.
Yeah.
Probably why she changed the name. You can't name the character your name and escape people saying that it's a self-insert.
I just really like my name, you guys.
It's really like it, and it's a nice name. I love the name Samantha.
Yeah.
My sister's American Girl doll was named Samantha. She had Samantha and Nellie, which is interesting because there's another one of these for the main characters, Nellie. So it's just American Girl dolls. This is American Girl doll canon.
Sam is a nice nickname too.
Yeah. That's why Sam and Eric exist. Anyways.
Yes, Audrey, he grabbed my hand. I don't feel, safe, I guess. Why? He asked, stopping and looking me in the eyes. I told him about Jack and Roger and how they made me feel uncomfortable.
I love these strong female characters.
Me too. The one strong female
And
character.
it's like, I don't think that every woman in literature needs to be a strong female character.
Yeah.
But I think she's supposed to be a strong female character in this, but she's not.
Yeah.
She just kind of whines a lot and then blushes when she's called Sleeping Beauty.
Yes.
So
It's her job.
and it's like, I feel like that's probably somewhat accurate to being 17 because nobody's like peak of strength at 17.
Well, they're all kind of complaining.
Yeah.
She does take care of the kids.
Yeah.
Which
So
is
it's really
a strong feminine trait.
Yeah. It's fun that she was immediately put into the mothering role.
Yeah.
Which I think happens in a lot of these.
Definitely.
A lot of Girl on the Island facts. Fiction.
Where's the one where the girl just kind of nudges them away with her foot?
That'd be me if I was the girl on the island. It would be so sad if I was the girl on the island because Ralph and Jack would be like, oh, it's a girl, and I'd be like, nah.
No. And then they'll have their home, romance between each other.
Everybody would be gay in my version.
Yeah,
of
they'll
Girl on the
be
Island
together,
fanfiction.
grinning at each other on a limb,
And like
they'll
in-
be around.
And like in real life, I would be single because I would be the only girl on the island.
Yes.
So, great.
Well, you can sleep next to me tonight. I will protect you. I always will. He continued to walk in silence. We continued to walk in silence, except you weren't silent before. Once we got down to the beach, we all decided we would sleep near the meeting place. The boys went all different ways in groups along the beach. I laid one of the choir togs out on the sand and made little piles for pillows underneath it. Johnny came running up to me and asked in a sweet voice, "Audie, can I sleep with
That's
you?"
not how 6-year-olds talk. And also, there's only like a handful of choir kids, so there's only a handful of choir togs, so how do they decide what kids gets the blanket?
Punching.
Well, obviously I get one because I'm the girl.
Honestly, that probably was how it went down.
And, you know, I imagine the other choir kids are like, they belong to us. My name's stitched on the label. And, like, they're talking about it like they have an infinite supply of these choir togs, which they don't.
Yes.
So it's
I want to believe that she, like, cornered Maurice, which is the only one I know by name that doesn't have, like, a personality.
Yeah.
And just, like, beat the shit out of him.
I was gonna say she just ripped them apart and said you can all get part of one.
That would have worked.
It would have worked, but I don't know how.
Which is what I don't know how to believe until otherwise.
I don't know how big they are.
They're big and, like, baggy.
Yeah,
right?
but they can't be that big.
As long as you cut them in half, there'd be enough room, I think.
Not for all of these islanders.
Maybe not all of them.
I mean, maybe if they share. Yeah, if they share blankets. Sam and Eric can share.
We have to decide these things.
Because
the last girl won't.
Why is she the last girl though? Because she's the only girl. It's not like there were many
There were
girls.
others.
But then she was the only one who survived the crash.
In the last chapter, there's another flashback of how she, like, did away with all the
Yeah,
other
it's like another girl also got on the plane and she was like, no, it's my, like they were prettier than her and she was like, no, this is my only chance. They broke, the plane went down, but she punched girls out of the plane windows. Oh my gosh.
Of course, Johnny, I replied. He hugged me. Ralph walked up and whispered in my ear, Honey, can I sleep with you? I laughed and pushed him away. I'm afraid there is only room for one man in my bed, and, well, Johnny was here first, I relied, half laughing. Johnny had lain on one end of the tog and had already fallen fast asleep. I put another tog on top of him and then lay down next to him. Ralph then lay next to me. Ralph? He said with his eyes closed. Can we go to the plane tomorrow and get our luggage? I have a couple things I need and we should look for useful things too. Okay, he said, opening his blue eyes. I never got to thank you, I said. For what? For holding my hand on the plane and comforting me and carrying me out of the plane. Sure, anytime. Isn't that what knights in shining armor are for?
Sure, anytime, as if that's gonna happen again.
Yes.
Because next time we're on a plane that crashes, I will be there for you.
I will be holding your hand and comforting
and I will
and
carry you off of the plane when it crashes again.
Isn't that what knights in shining armor are for? He grinned. Okay, Sir Ralph, thank you for gallantly saving me from the horrible plane monster. I laughed and he did
Did
too.
plane monster?
Yeah, plane monster.
Oh.
I could feel
It's not the
Jack's...
plane that was the problem.
I could feel Jack's jealous eyes on us from across.
He's like, where are they even sleeping right now? Where Jack is...
He's jealous of them stealing all his togs.
Probably.
I turned over and looked at Johnny. He is so little, I said out loud, putting my arm around him and pulling him close to me, and the arm was connected to me. No, that wasn't it. You are very little too, Ralph said, pulling me close to
That's
him.
not romantic.
Yeah, and this isn't how 17-year-olds talk.
Infantilizing her.
Yeah.
Which is gross.
Yep, unless she wants that, which is also gross.
But it's like if she wants it, at least she's able to like consent and it's mutual and it's like a thing.
Mhm.
But instead, he's just like, you're little too. After she was just talking about a 6-year-old.
Infantilizers. Good night, Princess Audrey. Good night, Sir Ralph, I said with a smile on my face. I felt very safe in his arms, and I felt very safe with Johnny by my side.
Why would Johnny keep her safe?
I don't know, he's a big chill. Protector on one side, shield on the other.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, that and Chapter 2 of The Last Girl by Samantha.
Samantha E. Morgan, which is very bold of her.
I put my middle name. I put the initial.
The last name. That is her last name.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were saying it's bold of her to be like putting her middle initial in her name. And you meant it's bold to put your real name on the internet, which is more true than the way that I had interpreted it.
Also, the E is also bolded. Well, not really.
Join us next time for Chapter 3 of The Last